Good morning, everybody out there in podcast land. And today's topic is what, Glenn?
We're talking about red flags on looking for, the right mechanic, the right shop to make it your home.
Absolutely. I always tell people that you want to bring your car to a place where you get to know the people working there, the technicians, the service advisors, the owner, and have an ability to be able to build that relationship with them, so your car doesn't get over-serviced or under-serviced. When you go around to 7 or 8 different shops, what happens? Sometimes you lose the record. Sometimes the previous shop or the previous shop did something, and the new shop you went to didn't know that, and all of a sudden you're over-servicing your car or under-servicing it, and you don't want to do either one, right?
Exactly. So the important thing is to, keep records. First thing, let's go back to the beginning of this whole thing. The first thing you need to do when you're looking for a shop is you can, Google, or however you plan to do that, great auto shops near me, or good auto shops, or shops with a great reputation near me. Let the list come up, and then you can read things about it. Get on these people's website if they even have one. Part of the problem with so many shops today, they're still living in yesterworld, I guess you call it. And, they don't even have a website, or the website is weak. It's a one-pager. It shows their shop, their logo, and blah, 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 and their hours of business. That isn't giving you a lot of information. So if there's not several pages, I think our website is at least 60, 80 pages deep. So there's a lot of things on there that are going to dictate, all of the information that you want to portray to that customer who's looking for a new shop, and what services we offer, our reputation, how many stars we have, how many reviews we have. And, the last thing I want to mention before I turn it back to Dave is, how do we answer our reviews? If we have a negative review or a positive review, do we bother to take the time, especially on the negative ones? Everyone says, screw them, I don't care. They were a hothead, or they were an idiot customer anyway. They're not my customer. That doesn't alleviate you from your responsibility to give them a response, explain from your perspective what happened, and either you're going to make it right, or at least pat them on the head before you dismiss them, because really nobody wants that angry customer anyway, right?
Right, and you definitely do have to respond to those reviews. And sometimes it's the shop's fault. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes there's miscommunication.
Imagine that. We're human beings.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can make mistakes.
Right, things do happen, and you want to make it as a shop owner. I always want to make it right. If it was something that was on our end that we miscommunicated, or did something that was wrong, or didn't fix something that we should have fixed,
right.
We want to make sure we make it right, and we want to fix it.
Yeah, so don't become defensive about it. Say, yes, that's correct. We did make a mistake. We're going to take care of this for you at no cost to you, and make it right, because that will build that relationship rather than tear it down, rather than making excuses. Well, you abused your car, and this thing's a pile of junk. I mean, I've heard customers have come in and said they've absolutely been berated by a previous shop, or shops, if you will, by the owner, by the service advisor, someone who's supposed to be in charge taking care of. They're supposed to be a problem solver, not deepen the problem.
Right. I mean, arguing about it isn't going to solve the problem, and we don't do that kind of thing. And I know you guys don't either. But you had mentioned that when you're looking for a shop, if you don't have family or friends or coworkers that go to a shop in the area, yeah, go on the internet and go on Google, or whatever search engine you want to go on, and look for a local shop in your area. Find out how many years they've been in business. Find out, like Glenn said, look at the reviews. Check out their website. And then take a little drive down there and go in there and meet the people. We're all kind of people that you get a feeling about when you go into a business and you start talking to the people inside there. Sometimes you get a good feeling, sometimes you get a bad feeling. I in years past, I used to go into some businesses, and if I had a bad feeling, I always go back and try to make it work, and try to make it better, and it just never did get better. So sometimes it's better to just cut the cord and move on to the next shop, and try another shop, and see if you get a good feeling when you go through there. Make sure that they got a presentable office. I mean, make sure that their waiting room is clean. All those things are important, because it just tells you that how they're going to take care of your car. If they've got a really dumpy place when you walk in there, and there's oil everywhere and it's greasy, and you kind of get a little bit bad feeling about how are they going to treat my car.
So what you're saying is they need to be customer conscious, right?
Absolutely.
And I've heard many stories about this from my customers who come for the first time or the second time, or they're now repeat customers, and they always remark about how clean, how organized, especially women. I think men are probably less, conscientious about that stuff, or they don't care as much. But I would say that, 70% of the people who walk through our front door are women. So if you're not catering to them in a manner that, they don't want to get the heebie-jeebies when they open the door or when they go into the restroom and someone didn't, make sure that after the last person left that the toilet bowl was clean and the sink was clean and those things like that. Those things really matter, and they leave an impression. At least it sows a seed of doubt in their mind as to whether they want to come back and visit you just from what they see visually.
Absolutely. And just because we own an auto repair shop doesn't mean it needs to be dirty and greasy. And we are around grease, we're around oil, we're around messy stuff. But we clean up after. If we do have a mess, we just clean it up.
Right. And are the techs wearing a company uniform? Are the people as service advisors, are they wearing a company uniform? Are they well groomed? Does it look like, this guy spills his tacos on his breakfast tacos before he comes into work and his shirt's all full of it? He doesn't even bother to look down to see that he looks like a mess, or she in that case. And it's really important that, appearance, it's either eye appeal or eye yuck, and so it's important for that image does make an impression on the customer even before you start talking and having a conversation about their vehicle.
Right, and we are definitely in the customer care business. No matter what you do, if you're dealing with customers, cars don't bring themselves in. The customers do, and the customers do pay the bills, and the customers, we want to keep them safe and want to keep them on the road. So it's about the customer, and you alluded to it earlier, was that we're problem solvers. We problem solve their transportation needs. If they have a problem with their car, it creates a lot of problems for them because then they can't pick up their kids from school or practice or whatever. It disrupts their lives. So we've got to help them with their transportation needs. Not only do we got to fix the car, but we got to help them with their transportation.
Right. In fact, I'm training my service advisors right now to answer the phone a little bit differently. Even though there was polite and everything else like that, I want them to say, "Thank you for choosing GoodWorks Auto Repair, my name, and then I can help you today. I can help you today." That takes that burden of, I wonder if these guys are going to be able to resolve my problem. So now we've taken command of that burden. We're going to help them today. I can help you today. So that's really important. And I learned that from a person who used to answer the phone at a parts seller that we use. And Kathy would always answer the phone, and she would say, "Thank you for calling Factory Motor Parts. This is Kathy speaking. I can help you." It's like, whoa. It almost threw me back in my chair, and I thought, that's the way you need to answer a phone, because you just took the burden. She just took the burden of helping me, and now I don't have to help, and I'm not yelling for help and trying to tread water while I'm sinking.
Right. And, back to what you should look for when you're trying to find a good shop, you also want to find out, do they have the ability to do everything? Do they have the ability to fix your car? There's some places out there that have the ability to service your car. And servicing your car is great and everything, and we definitely want to make sure you do service your vehicle. But if you have a running problem or you have something that needs to be diagnosed, you want to make sure that they have the ability to do that also.
Right. I mean, it's all about the capability, the training, and everything. Many shops don't invest in training. They learn by the seat of their pants. Something comes in, oh God, I've never worked on this before, and I've never seen this code before. And so now it becomes the guessing game, and then they start changing parts to see if that's going to fix it, all while they're tallying up the customer's bill. So they end up with a bill that could be 2 or 3 times bigger than it should be, because they installed all these parts, and now that they're installed, they can't return them. So guess who's going to pay? They don't want, the boss isn't the guy who wants to pay for it. And oftentimes, if the boss isn't even there, they can even take more advantage of customers because they're not overseeing what's going on with these vehicles.
Well, and you want to make sure that they have technicians that are qualified to fix the car correctly, the first time. That's always our goal is to make sure, we've invested in high dollar equipment. We've invested in a lot of training with my people. My guys have a lot of years of experience. You want to find out how long their technicians have been working on cars. It really helps because experience really does matter.
Yeah, we're not talking about thousands of dollars. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in equipment, scan tools, things, specialty tools that you need to dismantle and put vehicles back together. You know, it's not hammer and chisel. It's not Fred Flintstone and Barney. I mean, these cars are so sophisticated these days that if you don't have the knowledge, the tools, and the money to invest in these things, you're not going to a quality shop that's going to be able to fix the car right and leave it in great condition. And I'll give you a quick example. We had a lady this week came in with a Jeep. She just paid another shop $7,000 to put a motor in it. Well, they installed the motor, and it ran until it ran for a while, and the wiring harness was completely exposed. So there's a corrugated plastic covering that goes over the big wiring harnesses, which sometimes have 50, 60 wires inside of them. Well, all of that came off when they put the motor in, and so all these wires started rubbing on bolts and studs and things that were and exposed to heat. And so what happened was about 12 of these wires became bare and started throwing all these codes, putting her Jeep into limp mode. And she didn't know what was going on, so for whatever reason, I didn't talk to her personally, but for whatever reason, she, decided not to go back to that place, and she came to see us. And we immediately saw all of these codes. She had 80 codes in this thing, from the wires rubbing and throwing codes through the computer. And what it all boiled down to was a bad installation of a motor.
Yeah, those are horror stories, and we run into those once in a while ourselves. Another thing that I really think that customers really need to find out is everybody wants to get, not everybody wants to get the best price, but a lot of people worry about the best price. When I go into a place, I want to get the best value. I want to make sure that
value is a big difference, though, between price and value.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You want to find out what their warranty is. You want to make sure that they have a solid warranty. You want to make sure that they're going to be in business to honor that warranty, and find out if they got a nationwide warranty. Yeah. If you're taking a trip with that car, you want to make sure that you're covered. If there's a problem, then you can reach out to them or reach out to the warranty or reach out to a number, and they can get you to another shop and get whatever problem you
and
need
that
solved.
would even include towing the vehicle.
Absolutely. Well, that's definitely part of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That's a big thing, because a tow bill. I had a customer that had to have his truck towed. He blew the transmission out near Farmington, New Mexico. It cost him $1,600 to have it towed from there back to here.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for a tow. Holy smokes.
And there was no way he was going to have it fixed there, because he didn't know how long it was going to take him to have the transmission replaced.
Yeah. And whenever you're doing business, especially regularly doing business with a local business, you want to build that relationship with them. You want to make sure that they have your back. You want to make sure that when you do call them that they respond. And that's the best part about building a relationship. If you just keep jumping around from shop to shop, when you go into the shop, you're just kind of a number. You want to build that relationship to where they know you and you know them.
Right. Well, we kind of assimilate our industry to the medical industry, because there's different levels of doctors and specialty doctors who do things like that, and I don't know if there is any shop that's the one-all be-all, but if for some reason we can't take care of what you're doing, we can refer you to someone who's competent to do it. Furthermore, I mean, when you move to another city and you're looking for a new doctor, a new dentist, whatever, it's always, I don't think that anyone just walks in and says, "Oh yeah, hey, you're a dentist, so operate on me," or I got a toothache, or a doctor who may not have the bedside manner that you like, or whatever it is, and that's where this research comes in, and things to look at, and reviews again are very important when you're looking for a doctor. You want a referral from a friend. Hey, I go to this doctor. Hey, I go to this person for this, whatever it is that they're looking for. You're always looking for a good plumber, a good electrician, a good HVAC guy to service your air conditioning.
Well, and the easy thing is transparency is huge. You want to make sure that they're very transparent with you, that they give you high quality service. Check out their reviews. Strong online presence really does mean something. It means that they put a lot of time and effort into attracting the right customers. and that's what they want. And we don't ever want you to break down. That's not ever our goal. Our goal is just to service your car, make sure that you don't break down. That's why we spend a lot of time. An oil change at my shop is 45 minutes. It's, you can go to some of these places and they do it in 20 minutes. Well,
Some actually are advertising 5 minutes.
Well,
You stay in your car, you drive through.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, you choose your oil, you choose your filter. It's like, what do people know about what oil or filter their car needs? I don't know how these places can even stay in business, but for them it's a convenience factor. But we're not Dairy Queen. We're not trying to see how fast we can push the next snow cone out the door. I mean, this is really important. This thing is protecting your life, your livelihood. It's getting you to and fro with your kids to baseball practice, soccer games, whatever it is.
yeah, and you want to make sure you get there safely. You make sure you get there, period, and you're not stuck on the side of the road. Nobody wants to be stuck on the side of the road at 115 in the middle of summer, and that's usually when that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah.
So,
That's our reality here in Phoenix, anyway.
Right,
115. If you can't take it, don't move here.
yeah, yeah. I think that, I just think that doing the basics, just customers coming in and doing the basics, will get them to a good shop and get them out of the shop that they shouldn't be at. So, like I said, you want to make sure that the shop is transparent. You want to make sure that they have a clean area, clean waiting area, clean office, clean shop. You want to make sure that they have a strong online presence, reviews. And if you do all of those things, and make sure that they have some experience, make sure that they have, how long they've been in business, and how long their people have been there.
Yeah, not that a brand new shop can't have great people working there neither. So
No.
longevity is a good thing, but it's not everything, because there are people who break away from bad shops and they're good shop operators, and maybe they've only been in business for a year or two, or maybe they just opened their doors. So
Yeah. Well, I think
ask the right questions and you get the right
I
answers.
think if you do all the things that I mentioned about transparency, reviews, and and making sure the shop's clean, if they're putting that much time into that and to doing the right things there, you're right, they're going to be successful. And I think that's really, it's not rocket science. It's pretty simple.
Right.
You just got to make sure that when you're going into the shop that you find a really quality shop, and then when you do find that quality shop, stay with them. Stick with them.
Absolutely.
Because I tell you what, in the long run, you're going to be way ahead.
I agree. Well, we just want to thank you for joining us today for this episode of Under the Hood with Glen and Dave. And you can reach out to us by getting on our website, podcastunderthehood.com. Thanks again for joining us today. We welcome you to come and listen to our next episode.
Absolutely. See you.